All right, well, we're going to now start discussing in section 2 something about the rules of logic. We were talking about deductive reasoning, and deductive reasoning essentially starts with a statement that is true. Okay, start with a true statement. Okay, and then deductive reasoning says to take your conclusion and determine whether it is true or false. Okay, and then from there, you essentially you're fitting this to the rule, which is essentially what you're doing. Okay, and then from there you draw a conclusion about your hypothesis. Now, this conclusion is different from this conclusion. This is essentially a conclusion about several things. For example, here's an idea. Okay, here's a true statement. Okay, so I'll tell my kids, if you eat your broccoli, then you can go out to play. Okay. Now, end of the matter. You did not eat your broccoli. Therefore, okay, here's my conclusion about the whole matter. You may not go out to play. Well, I am going to tell you right away that this is a bad argument. And it's not bad because you're forcing them to eat broccoli. It's bad because it's poor in construction, and it really isn't logical. And we'll discuss that sort of thing later. But what we do need to find out, though, is how do we decide arguments? How do we make decisions? Okay. So very often, what we try to do in making decisions, in deductive reasoning, okay, is we try to have our true statements sort of at hand, rules that we have that allow us to operate. So we're going to operate within the rules. So if this car is priced more than $18,000, then I will not buy it. This car is priced more than $18,000. Therefore, I will not buy it. What if you decide to buy it? Then you, of course, violated a rule of logic. However, let's take a look at this idea here, and we're going to determine some rules of logic. Now, the first thing that we have is we need to understand what a statement is. Okay? And a statement is a declarative sentence that is either true or false, but not both. So it is a declarative sentence. It is not a question. Okay. Saying, did you eat breakfast today? is not a statement. It is a question. It is an inquiry. Okay. And a statement is either true or false. We are able to assign a particular truth value to the statement. Since we are able to assign a truth value to the statement is, well, we can evaluate it. We can actually evaluate it. Now, by the way, it is not a command. Okay, a command cannot be true or false. If I tell my children, go clean your room, right? There is no truth value to it. When I ask the question, did you clean your room? There is no truth value to that. Now, their answer has a truth value. Yes, I cleaned up my room. If their room is clean, then fine, well and good. If their room is not clean, well then they lied. It's either true or false, but it is not both. There is no such thing as a half-truth. In the rules of logic, a half-truth is a whole lie. So a statement is either true or false, but not both. We negate statements, okay? We can talk about the idea of negation, okay? And negation changes the truth value of a statement. So suppose I say, and we'll call P a statement here. We'll say that P is, I am going to the bank. Okay. Then we're going to use this little symbol right here. This is a tilde, okay? But we're going to use that symbol right there to indicate not, okay? And we're going to let P be, I am not going to the bank. And now really, in going to the bank, there are no halfway measures, okay? Suppose that I get almost to the bank, but then I turn around and go to the store. Don't actually make it to the bank. Well, then I didn't go to the bank. Okay. You either go there or you don't. Okay. So here I can talk about P and not P. Negation always changes the truth value. Now please understand, the definitions are terribly, terribly important. If you don't get the definitions right, then you're going to be in trouble. Well, we have different kinds of connectivity with statements. Okay. So, for example, I have conjunctions. Okay. Now, a conjunction is an and statement, okay? And so if P is I am going to the bank, and Q is I am going to the store, okay? P and Q. See how that almost looks like an A and, okay? P and Q would be, I'm going to the bank and I'm going to the store. Now, how would you determine truth value for this sort of thing? Okay. Well, with truth value for a negation is fairly easy. For example, here P, we know that P can only be true or false. And since P can only be true or false, then here's not P. Not P, if P is true, then not true is false, and not false would be true. So you can see that I can change my truth values. That's a very, very easy way of looking at it. But P and Q, that's a little bit more difficult. However, we'll get there. From sets, okay, let's just take a look. Let's suppose that everything inside here, this is P. And inside the circle, P is true. Outside the circle, P is false. Ready? So inside this circle, Q is true. And outside this circle, Q is false. That's right. So when I take a look at P and Q, there's actually 4 regions that I have available to me. It can both be true at the same time. And you see right here, it's inside P, here it's inside Q, so they can both be true at the same time. Or, in this one here, P can be true, but since it's outside of this Q circle, Q would be false. Now, inside this circle, and right at this particular juncture, Q would be true, but P would be false. And then, of course, we could have outside of both circles, in which case it would both be false. You can see that it's possible for me to go both to the bank and to the store, or to the bank but not the store, or to the store but not the bank, or to go to neither one. And so when I take a look at P and Q, okay, here's my P and Q, all right. Notice what's happening here, all right. So I tell my wife, I'm going to the bank and I'm going to the store. So I go to the bank, I go to the store, I told the truth. Well, I go to the bank, but I don't make it to the store. Well, I'm sorry, I didn't tell the truth. I said I was going to do both of them, okay? And so, I lied. Here, I didn't go to the bank, but I did make it to the store. Yeah, you know, I lied. And here, I didn't make it to either one. Now, I have had students who at this point there said that, oh, you told the truth. Oh, no. Okay, I lied. I didn't do anything of what I said I would do. I said I'm going to the bank and I'm going to the store. And I didn't even do part of it. So indeed, I did tell a lie. And this is how you evaluate a conjunction, okay? This idea of and here is true only if all parts are true. Well, then we have another thing, okay? Another way that we put things together. And we put things together as a disjunction, which is an or statement. And this disjunction as an or statement, okay, or means one or the other, and or both. There are exclusive ors where it can't be both, but in the rules of logic, unless we specify, an or statement essentially means it can be one or the other or both. Okay? So if I'm talking about P or Q, there's the or, all right? Let's go ahead and evaluate that. And again, P and Q could both be true at the same time. Or P could be true, but Q false. Or P could be false and Q true. Or they could both be false. All right. And now we're going to examine P or Q. P is I'm going to the bank, and Q is I'm going to the store. And I say I'm going to the bank or I'm going to the store, and I went to both. Well, I still told the truth. I may have done both, but I still told the truth. Okay. Well, how about I went to the bank and I didn't make it to the store? Well, I said I was going to do one or the other, right? So I did at least one of them. So that is a true statement. And then what about this? I didn't make it to the bank, but I did get to the store. Well, I still told the truth. Here's where I have a problem. Okay, I said I'm going to the bank or I'm going to the store, but I did not get to any. So that is a lie there. So there's a disjunction or, and a disjunction is false only if all parts are false. Well, what other ways do we have for connectivity? So far we have conjunction, which is and is true if all parts are true. A disjunction or, and a disjunction is false only if all parts are false. We have negation. Negation changes the truth value. But we also have conditional statements. Okay. And a conditional statement is if-then. So here's conditional if-then. Okay. And we represent that with an arrow right there. And we're going to evaluate this. So if I go to the bank, then I will go to the store. So let's see if we can evaluate that. So I make it to the bank, and then I go to the store. I've told the truth. Okay. Well, what happened? I say, if I go to the bank, then I will go to the store. I go to the bank, and I don't go to the store. Well, it's pretty obvious that that's a lie. Well, what about down here? I say, if I go to the bank, then I will go to the store. Well, I didn't go to the bank. Did I fulfill that if statement? That if statement is sort of like a condition. It is called a conditional, all right? So I'm saying that going to the store, I'm obligating myself to go to the store if I go to the bank. Well, is there any obligation to go? And the answer is no. Okay, I didn't make it to the bank, so I don't have to go to the store. So that's a true statement right there. If false, then false is true. Remember, if false, then false is true. Not false and false is true. So this is, right here. If true, then true is true. If true, then false is false. If false, then false is true. And now let's take a look at if false, then true. Well, the fact that I didn't make it to the store means I'm under no obligation. But you see, I told you what would happen if I made it to the bank. I really didn't tell you what would happen if I didn't make it to the bank. So if I don't make it to the bank, I don't have any obligation. I can do what I like. I haven't constrained myself. So If I don't make it to the bank, I can still go to the store and have told the truth under this statement. If I go to the bank, then I will go to the store. Now, this is a conditional statement. And what we have looked at under rules of logic is how we put together some of these kinds of rules, basic rules, in order to analyze things. So now, in the next segment, we're going to put some things together.